Hey, how's it going, YouTube? I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to talk about how the Dallas Mavericks could potentially be creating a future dynasty. Now, I know what a lot of you might be thinking. They're one of the worst teams in the West right now, and they are not playing too well right now, especially that, they traded Harrison Barnes. They really don't have that good of a team right now outside of Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis. But I'm getting into how they could have just now created a future dynasty, and if they play their cards right, how they could potentially be the next Golden State Warriors of the NBA. So without further ado, without rambling on too much, let's get right into this video. Alright, so my first reason for this video is going to be that they already have the 2 stars. The hardest part about being a small market team trying to rebuild and actually become a legit finals contender is getting stars to play with them. Well, they have managed to easily get those 2 stars as they have traded for Kristaps Porzingis, who is one of the best big men in the entire league before he got injured. He was playing at an all-star level, was absolutely dominating the league with the New York Knicks, and he was definitely a superstar level player, in my opinion at least. The dude was playing very, very well, averaging around 22 points per game before he got injured, and was named an all-star in only his 2nd year in the NBA. And yes, he was playing with the Knicks, a pretty bad team, but I don't think those are empty numbers at all, just due to how dominant Porzingis was, as he is a 7-footer pretty much that can expand his range to the 3-point line with ease. But then they also got Luka Doncic, who's already shown superstar level potential, having one of the best rookie years we've seen ever, averaging 21 points per game, 7.4 rebounds per game, and 5.9 assists per game. So the dude is getting it done everywhere. He's assisting very well, rebounding good, and can score the ball at will. So with the duo of Porzingis and Luka Doncic, the hardest part, getting stars to play with you, they have already finished that, and they have already got the star talent acquired, and they no longer really need to focus solely on star talent, because when you're a small market team and you're bad, there is almost no chance of signing a star player in free agency, so you're almost forced to either trade for one and hope he resigns with you once his contract's over, or draft one. And in the Dallas Mavericks case, they have done both of those and got 2 stars out of it. So they have did that very nice, and probably one of the better rebuilding ways we've seen in a long time. Now, obviously, Porzingis is hurt right now, so he can't play. And there's a off chance that he doesn't resign with them in free agency, but he's pretty much guaranteed to resign with them in free agency. So they're going to have a star level player. But now, as a lot of y'all pretty much know, that you need a 3rd star player. He doesn't have to be a superstar, but he still has to be an all-star player to compete in the NBA, to be legit final contenders. Because let's be honest, teams like OKC that have 2 superstars like Paul George and Westbrook, yes, they're going to be very good, but does anyone expect them to make the finals? No. But teams like the Philadelphia 76ers, who have Tobias Harris, Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid on their team, a lot of people expect them to become a legit finals contender, if not make the finals this year, due to all their star talent. In Golden State, they have a starting 5 of literally nothing but all-stars. So when you have all of that, you have to have at least a 3rd star to be a contender and compete in the NBA, how it is set up right now. But as of right now, with them currently being ranked the 13th seed in the Western Conference, giving them a very good chance to have a high lottery pick, if not the #1 overall pick, which would land them Zion Williams. Just think about that. If they can somehow get the #1 overall pick, they will get Zion Williamson, Kristaps Porzingis, and Luka Doncic all on the same team. And that would just be unbelievable, because we already know Zion Williams is going to be a beast coming out of college. But even say they don't get Zion Williams, say they get the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, so on overall pick in the lottery, they still have chances to get people like RJ Barrett, Jay Monrat, a lot of other very, very good players in this team, in this draft class. Cam Reddish, a lot of good players that they could potentially get in this draft class could easily develop into being a star level player. But not only can they draft them, and that's not their only hope, they also have max level cap space. And in the Dallas Mavericks, yes, they're a small market, they're not too small of a market, they're like a medium-sized market, and the superstars wouldn't want to go to them, but they know how good they're going to be. Because just look at it, they have Luka Doncic, Kristaps Porzingis. So obviously they're going to be a playoff team, or right now a playoff contending team in the West, but so stars are going to want to go there just because they're going to be better. But now you also have you're going to get a high lottery pick, a high profile rookie, no matter where you get the pick from. You're going to get a high profile rookie in this draft class. So that's going to be 3 very promising players on your team. And plus they're going to have enough to sign anybody in free agency to a max level contract, which will then result in them now a star level player. Look, well, now I can get a max deal, plus I'm going to be winning games. I can't ask much more for that. So now you're going to have a legit chance to maximum have 4 stars on your team if the rookie develops, and then a minimum of 3 stars on your team if the if the star free agent doesn't sign or something. So I mean, you have so many chances to add that third superstar, which a lot of teams just do not have, and the Mavericks have pretty much shown you how you need to rebuild. And say even if they don't sign anyone in free agency or draft a star level player, they still have so much cap space they can assign a lot of high talented players in free agency, even like their role players. But I mean, just like in this free agency class, it's almost impossible for them to have max cap space and not sign with someone, especially with how good they're going to be. As I mean, just like there's people in free agency like Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Klay Thompson, Kemba Walker, and Jimmy Butler, plus among a lot of others in this free agency that would be very nice to complete their team. But Kemba Walker is actually one of the more interesting ones in the league, as there's already been reports coming out that the Dallas Mavericks are going to be completely focusing on Kemba Walker. Now, I mean, yes, the Kemba Walker has expressed many times how he wants to stay with Charlotte and he wants to stay very loyal to the team that drafted him. But just think, this is going to be very hard for Kemba Walker to turn down a potential finals contending team and a max contract. That is going to be extremely hard for him to decline, especially if they can get the #1 overall pick, #2, #3, or top 5 lottery pick. That is going to be a very hard deal to turn down if you're Kemba Walker just trying to be loyal. And if I was him, I would definitely take it, because now you're going to be making one of the best trios of you, Porzingis, and Luka Doncic, which is going to be a future dynasty for a very long time, plus a young rookie, plus some veterans that are going to sign because they think you can compete for the finals. So I mean, if y'all was Kemba, you could definitely do that, but same with every other free agent in this free agency class coming up. But now my last reason how they could be a future dynasty is going to be their core is going to be extremely young no matter what. As I mean, just look at it. Luka Doncic is a 20-year-old rookie who's already dominating the league. Kristaps Porzingis is a 23-year-old superstar, only his 4th year in the league once he comes back from his injury. He's only 23 years old, and I mean, pretty much Klay Thompson, he's about 28. Kyrie's going into his prime. KD's going into his prime. Klay Thompson's going into his prime. Kemba going into his prime, and Jimmy Butler going into his prime. But they could also go the younger route and sign someone like Julius Randle, who's been dominating with the Pelicans this year. So Julius Randle could also be kind of a factor in there, but I think they would go for one of the bigger names. So I mean, all these players just now getting into the prime of their careers, plus 3 young guys, because they're also going to draft a high lottery pick, so he's going to be very young as well, and he's going to be a rookie. So I mean, just with all of this going on, I mean, like I said, you can sign someone like Julius Randle, but also look at the young guys in this free agency class. It is absolutely unbelievable. Chris Middleton, Tobias Harris, D'Angelo Russell, Julius Randle, Malcolm Brogdon, plus others. Now, out of these guys, Tobias Harris has a very high chance of signing with them. Chris Middleton probably not, because he's made the All-Star with the Milwaukee Bucks. Malcolm Brogdon maybe, because he wants to chase the bag. D'Angelo Russell probably isn't leaving. But Malcolm Brogdon and Tobias Harris could be extremely interesting to watch, because Tobias Harris is a legit all-star level player. Despite he's never been elected to one, he is definitely one of the better players in the league. And Malcolm Brogdon is also a very good shooting guard to have on your team, around 15-20 points per game score. So he would be a very nice addition as well if you're the Dallas Mavericks. So they have a very high chance that they could have 4 star level players going forward for the foreseeable future. Just say they do sign someone like Malcolm Brogdon, now you have a core no matter what of Malcolm Brogdon, Kristaps, and Luka Doncic. And say you get the #1 overall pick, would be Zion Williams, or say you just get a high one, it could be RJ Barrett, Jay Monrat, Cam Reddish, or a number of any other players. So I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how Dallas Mavericks do acquire this third superstar, and if they do that, they could legitimately compete with the Golden State Warriors, especially if Kevin Durant or Klay Thompson leave in free agency this year. But unfortunately, guys, that's been for the video. So comment below, do you agree with me? Do you think that the Dallas Mavericks are creating a future dynasty? Do you think they are not? I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And before you do accuse me of trying to be a Dallas Mavericks fan, I'm a New Orleans Pelicans fan. So unfortunately, yes, I am. But I mean, I'm not a Dallas Mavericks fan. I'm just saying what I see is going to happen. The Dallas Mavericks are setting themselves to be a great franchise here in the very soon future. So yeah, comment below, do you agree with me? Do you not? But also y'all been showing tons of support on the channel. I cannot thank you enough. But also have to give all praise to God. He's the reason I'm here. He's the reason we're all here. He's blessed me and put me in this position to make these videos every other day for you guys. Spread his name through these videos and really help me live through his name. Spread his word. And I just cannot express to you how much he will help you. If I can just get one person to turn to Jesus Christ and let him into your heart, you don't understand how much that would mean to me. Because I mean, the second you do it, your life changes around for the better. He puts you in the direction direction, on the path that he's meant for you to be, and he's put me on this path to spread his name through his videos, entertain you guys, and just really help me do what I love doing. And he's really assured me that, because every time I start getting doubtful and I always pray, but like when I pray, I keep praying, and the second YouTube starts going down and I start getting doubtful, is this what I'm meant to do? He just turns it around and just really boosts my momentum and really just helps me a ton. And I mean, if you really just turn yourself to God, you will see the benefits as well. He's a giving God. He wants you to be him. He created you in his image. So I mean, no matter what, he loves you so much. So yeah, just remember, if you ever have any down times, like you're really depressed or anything, just remember someone does love you, and it's going to always be God. So don't worry about that at all. Someone will always love you. But like I said, that's it for this video. So comment below if you did agree with me, you like the video. If you did like the video, put a like or subscribe button if you really did like the video. And I hope you have a blessed day. Have a blessed day, so you need to have a blessed day. See you in tomorrow's video. Goodbye. Boo. Blah, blah, blah.